Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania, it's the Bill and Corey Show. I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode. I'd like to remind you that we have the chat feature enabled on our YouTube channel, so if you have any questions, just put them in there, and hopefully we'll be able to answer them. Well, the first question today is going to be on purifiers. Here's the question. I'm interested in the PUR-Gas cartridge purifiers for purifying argon gas to extract moisture, oxygen, and hydrocarbons. Is the unit available in stainless steel? We would like to achieve the 6/9 purity, that's 99.9999% purity for the argon cylinder. How does one of these units, how long does one of these units last, and how many cylinders can be put through them?
So this is our PUR-Gas Purifier. This one is on a stand, and as you can see, the stand is actually aluminum and it's not stainless steel. So unfortunately, that will not work for that, but we have another option. For this one in particular, well, not this one in particular, but yeah, this one in particular actually, the triple trap. It takes out 1.8 grams of water, 75 milliliters of oxygen, and 4 grams of hydrocarbons. And the purity of your gas that is in your cylinder is probably the most important thing. And unfortunately, we do not know, the question did not specify this, but if it's our UHP, so we deal with spec gas equipment, so our specialty gas, our lowest purity specialty gas is UHP, argon, which these traps would last for about 70 to 90 cylinders. However, if it's dirty, like dirty or not dirty gas, but less pure.
You have a lower purity
Your
gas.
lower purity gas,
yeah.
This will last for about 10 cylinders, depending on how dirty it is.
Yeah.
However, but for the stainless steel portion, this is our inline purifier. And it will come with 2 check valves, essentially, on the end of this that will either get stainless steel or brass, and you can put it right in line, and the way it's designed is that you pull it out, the trap's automatically closed, so you can just pop it out, pop it back in. And so this would be a good solution for someone that needs stainless steel.
Now, does that have a higher capacity than the cartridge one?
This one, I do not know the answer to that off the top of my head.
Okay.
But check out our store.mathesongas.com and the answer will be there.
Yeah, good. Okay, here's the question. It's next question is on pressure regulators. What is that tiny hole in the bonnet nut of the pressure regulator? I'm going to explain this a little bit. So this is just the body of the pressure regulator. It's just one we have that we can. It's for taking apart. The big hole is the bonnet vent hole, and that's to protect the bonnet from overpressurization if there's a leak past the diaphragm. And some people with hazardous gases will pipe that away to an abatement system or exhaust stack. Now there's a tiny little hole, I probably can't see it on the nut.
I could see it in rehearsals yesterday.
Yeah, on the nut part of it. That is really for assembly purposes. And I'll show you really what's happening here.
We kept it together.
Yeah, I kept it together. It's probably going to fall apart when I try to flip it over. But when they put the bonnet onto the main body, and there's a diaphragm in there, they don't do it this way. But what happens is,
righty tighty, lefty loosey.
I know. Yeah, it has to, you tighten it down, and your air can get trapped in there. Atmospheric air can get trapped in there, and then you're torquing it down to about 80 foot-pounds. So you could have air trapped in there, and when you torque it down, it'll compress the air, and it'll be a higher pressure, and that could kind of screw things up. You might get pressure messing up your diaphragm seal. So this is to vent out the trapped atmospheric gas in there when you're tightening it up. So it's really, gas isn't going to leak out that normally. Yeah, and these.
So that little hole there, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about that one. So, okay. Next question is going to be on regulators, high pressure regulators. It said, good afternoon, I have a question. I have an accumulator I need to charge to 1800 PSI. Would I be able to do that with an argon flow meter, like a welding flow meter? Is there a difference between using a high pressure regulator versus flow meter for charging these accumulators?
Well, first things first, a flow meter does not do pressure. You know, just to be clear, regulators are for pressure, flow meters are for flow. So a flow meter will not increase your pressure, and it is flow meters are not rated for 1800 psig because they typically have glass in them in order to read the scale.
Yeah, and this is a, we don't carry a welding flow meters here, but this is kind of about what he's looking, the person was asking about. It's a typical welding flow meter. You set your flow rate.
So we have a few regulators that could do it. This is we have the 6064A.
That's that one. Yep.
Yes, this is the 6064A. This one, it goes out to, or 3064A.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a typo. I was confused.
3064A.
3064A. Yep. And this one is a 6,000 psig or 4,000 psig. It can give out up to 2,500 psig pressure, delivery pressure.
Right.
And one of the things that, and this one will work great for you. However, one that would work probably the best for this application would be, this is a self-relieving version. This is the 3064. This is the self-relieving version. So what
3064AR.
3064AR.
R is for relieving.
It's for relieving. That one actually works this time. That one works this time. And so this one, you can set it to the 1800 psig, and then if it, if for some reason the flow, the pressure gets a little bit higher, there could be fluctuations. It'll relieve back down to the 1800 psig for your charging, or whatever you're charging.
Yeah, self-relieving regulator. The problem with pressurizing things is you can pressurize it up, and then if for some reason you overpressurize it, you'd have to put a valve on your accumulator to vent it down. With a self-relieving, you just back off the knob, and it'll bleed the pressure down for you. So that's what's nice about that.
And this is the 3040 series, which is just our brass version.
Yeah, this is it's
the brass version of this guy.
Yeah, it's not as, it can be used for that application, but it doesn't have a self-relieving.
Doesn't have, yeah, and the brass ones do not come with self-relieving, so no relief for the brass.
Now we have a question. Next question is on an old regulator. Person says, I have a pressure regulator to 3104A-350. Can I use it with an ammonia cylinder? And the quick answer is no. I don't have a 3104A regulator.
How old is that regulator?
3104A?
Yeah.
That's probably from, I had to dig through to find that, because we had stuff on the 3104 and a 3104C, and we get a lot, I don't know, we get a lot of technical questions about.
So you skipped the A and the B and went straight to C?
But I went back, I found the A, there is some documentation on the A. I didn't see anything on the B, so I don't know what happened. These are probably 40-year-old regulators, and they're probably still good regulators.
A testament to the quality of the regulators that we sell, right there.
Now, the 3104 series is like our 1250 series. It's a forged brass body, and it's got a stainless steel diaphragm. So it's kind of like your medium purity regulator. And with ammonia, ammonia is not compatible with brass, no. So you can't use it. The 3104 A, B, C, whatever, or the 1250 with ammonia. So you need to get a stainless steel regulator. Oh yeah. And we got another question that came in.
A bonus
question that came in yesterday. Someone was asking about the internal diameter of our CGA 1340 connection, and this is one right here. This is used on a inert gas tube trailer. So it's got you can tell it's bigger than a regular one. It's got a 1/2-inch pipe thread connection on there, and the internal diameter is 3/8 of an inch. These are rated to 3,500 psi. Yes, they're used for tube trailer connections. We also use them as manifold connections for our high flow switchover systems. So we have if you get a brass high flow switchover system, and you got the main panel, and then there's manifolds right and left, and this will connect up to the manifolds, So you don't have, so it's because you want to have them shipped separately and you assemble it in the field. And what's nice about this is if you have a flammable gas, then you'd use the left-handed threaded version of this, so you don't have any gas compatibility issues. So yes, this is the CJ 1340 tube trailer connection. We use it for manifolds. Of course, you want to buy it, it's on our online store. It's store.mathesongas.com. I don't see any questions that came in. So that's all the questions we got for this week. Tune in again next week it'll be our 20th live episode next week.
Wow.
So you tune in next week at 10 a.m. on Thursday.
Set your VCRs.